Welcome to week 4. This week we'll be concluding the lesson on early exploration of Mars, learning about the history of Earthbound telescope-aided observations of the red planet. This week is packed with activity, so if you've procrastinated with your work on the course project number 1 assignments, you need to really buckle down and work hard to keep on track. Earthbound observations of Mars. Any useful earthbound observations of Mars, at least from a geographical perspective, weren't really possible until the invention of the telescope in 1608. As telescopes became more and more powerful, our ability to determine the nature and characteristics of some of the geographical features on the surface of Mars began to increase exponentially over the years. We talked about Mars's orbit back in week 2 during our What is Geography lecture. Let's remember that the closer Earth and Mars are in proximity to one another in their orbits determines how detailed our observations can be of the surface features of Mars. When the two planets are closest together in opposition, those observations can result in much greater detail. When the two planets are in perihelic opposition, detailed observations from the Earth's surface are possible at the greatest detail. So the geographical study of Mars, areography, really began many centuries ago. These observations grew into a field of science by the 19th century, which is what we will discuss in greater detail in this week's lecture, the conclusion of Dr. Rodrigues' 2-part lecture on the early exploration of Mars. We'll begin this week with lecture number 6, Early Explorations Part 2, Telescope-Aided Observations, followed by a Check on Learning quiz. Finally, we'll have a learning activity that's non-graded, related to early Mars cartography, and we'll conclude the week with another open discussion and collaboration about what we've learned this week, as well as what we've learned during the 4 weeks of Microlesson 1. As a reminder, course project number 1, learning about Mars through space exploration, past, present, and future, research discussion post, Mars mission brief, and position statement is also due by the end of this week. As such, there will not be any weekly reading and writing assignments due this week. Concentrate on finishing your course project number 1 assignments. Okay, see you in the course.